Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you has the power to rip through the fog of confusion you've been living in and place you face to face with a truth that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. The truth about finding your purpose is that it is not a mystery hidden in some distant land. It is not locked away behind impossible doors. It is already alive inside you, screaming for your attention, and the problem is not that you cannot hear it. The problem is that you have buried it beneath layers of distraction, fear, and social conditioning that have convinced you to ignore your deepest signals, because your unique purpose lies at the intersection of three forces that cannot be denied: the pain that breaks your heart, the skill that flows naturally from you, and the curiosity that never leaves you alone. And if you dare to confront those three without running away, you will unlock a clarity that most people will never know. Think about the pain that breaks your heart, not the small annoyances that irritate you for a day, but the deep suffering you see in the world that makes you feel restless, that keeps you awake at night, that feels almost unbearable to watch, because that pain is a signal. That pain is your compass pointing you toward the area of life where your soul refuses to stay silent, and while most people numb themselves to avoid feeling it, those who choose to face it discover the direction of their purpose, because your heart was not designed to ache randomly, it was designed to ache specifically for the problem you were meant to help solve. Now think about the skill that flows naturally from you, the ability you barely notice because it comes so easily, the thing others admire but you brush off as nothing special, yet in reality it is your hidden gold, your natural advantage, the tool you were given to attack that exact pain, because purpose is not only about passion, it is about power, and the skills that flow without resistance are the weapons placed in your hands to carve through the obstacles standing between you and the solution you are here to deliver. And when you deny your gift, you not only betray yourself, but you rob the world of the medicine you were uniquely built to provide. And then comes the third force, the curiosity that never leaves you, the subject you cannot stop thinking about, the questions you cannot silence, the rabbit holes you dive into when no one is watching. And though the world may call them obsessions, they are actually signals. They are breadcrumbs from destiny itself leading you toward the arena where your purpose comes alive. Because curiosity is the language of the soul, it is the inner fire that refuses to be put out, and if you follow it without fear of judgment, you will find yourself exactly where you are supposed to be. But here is where the breakthrough happens. When you align the pain you cannot ignore with the skill that flows naturally and the curiosity that burns endlessly, everything changes, because suddenly your energy is no longer scattered, your focus no longer fractured, your days no longer wasted chasing goals that mean nothing. Instead, you feel the surge of meaning. You feel the gravity of destiny pulling you forward. You feel alive in a way that no amount of money, fame, or approval can ever provide. And that feeling is the confirmation that you are finally moving in the direction of your true purpose. Most people never reach this intersection because they are terrified of the cost. They suppress their pain because it is uncomfortable. They dismiss their skills because they fear standing out. And they ignore their curiosity because it does not fit the mold of what society says is practical, so they live lives that look fine on the outside but are hollow on the inside, chasing careers, relationships, and distractions that never satisfy, because you cannot fill the void of purpose with anything except purpose itself, and when you resist it, you suffer silently even while appearing successful. But the ones who dare to face their pain, own their gifts, and honor their curiosity become unstoppable, because they are no longer powered by external rewards, but by an internal engine that never runs dry. They wake up with fire even on the days when everything goes wrong, because their life is aligned with a mission larger than themselves, and that kind of life shakes the world. Your unique purpose is not a fantasy. It is not reserved for the special few. It is waiting inside you right now at the exact intersection of your heartbreak, your talent, and your obsession. And the only question that matters is whether you will be brave enough to confront it and disciplined enough to chase it, because once you do, you will never again wonder why you are here. You will know, and that knowing will carry you through every storm, every doubt, every failure, until the day you take your final breath, having lived the only life that was ever truly yours. Purpose will never be achieved through the shallow spikes of emotion that come and go like waves crashing and fading on the shore, because emotion is unstable. It rises high and then it vanishes. And if your pursuit of purpose is chained to how you feel in the moment you will abandon it. The second the fire cools, the second the applause stops, the second comfort whispers to you that maybe you should quit. But the truth is that your unique purpose bends to only one brutal law, and that law is consistency beyond emotion, because nothing lasting is built on inspiration alone. Everything lasting is built on persistence that refuses to bow to weakness. You have been told to wait until you feel motivated, to wait until the conditions are right, to wait for a sign that the universe approves of your path. But all of that is a lie that keeps you powerless, because the universe has already given you the sign by placing desire in your heart, skill in your hands, and vision in your mind. And now the only thing left is whether you will have the discipline to walk forward even when it feels unbearable. Discipline is the master key, and it is forged in the moments you least want to act. The mornings when you would rather stay in bed, the nights when the world is silent and no one is watching, the days when results seem invisible and your effort feels wasted, because those are the exact moments where destiny separates the ordinary from the unstoppable, and the ones who continue anyway are the ones who rise. Intensity is easy for a week, inspiration is easy for a month, obsession is easy when it is new, but consistency is the ultimate test because it demands that you grind through boredom, through resistance, through seasons of doubt, and most will not survive this test because they are addicted to feelings. They think passion means they should always feel good, but real passion is proven when you continue even when you feel nothing. You must stop confusing motivation with commitment, because motivation is a spark that comes and goes, but commitment is the flame that never dies, and the man or woman who refuses to stop is unstoppable, because while the world is waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel inspired, waiting to feel certain, you are moving, you are building, you are stacking brick after brick, and eventually those bricks rise into a structure so massive it becomes undeniable. The greatest tragedy is not failure, the greatest tragedy is surrendering halfway, surrendering when it hurt, surrendering when it was dark, surrendering because you thought your feelings had the authority to tell you when to quit. But feelings are traitors, they will lie to you, they will abandon you, they will mock you, and if you build your future on them you will collapse. But if you build it on consistency, on ritual, on relentless repetition, you will create momentum that nothing can break. Understand this clearly. Purpose is not accomplished by one big moment. It is accomplished by thousands of small choices, thousands of acts of discipline, thousands of days where you moved forward by one step, even when the step felt small, because the power of consistency is that it compounds, it multiplies silently, it builds invisible progress that one day becomes visible and shocks everyone who doubted you, and they will call you lucky, they will call you gifted, they will call you chosen, but deep down you will know the truth, that you simply refused to stop when they did. You must hardwire your life so that action is not a question, but a command. You do not wait for inspiration to show up. You create systems and habits that drag you forward whether you feel like it or not, because the warrior who trains daily will always defeat the dreamer who waits for motivation, and the builder who lays one stone every day will always surpass the one who lays 100 stones in 1 week and then quits. And that is why purpose belongs not to the talented but to the disciplined. The world will resist you, your own mind will resist you, and comfort will fight you every step of the way. But when you live by consistency beyond emotion, you rob resistance of its power. You take the control away from your feelings and hand it to your commitment, and suddenly nothing can move you. Not pain, not fear, not failure, because your path is no longer optional. It is who you are. It is your identity. It is your destiny in motion. Do not fool yourself into thinking that passion should feel easy. Do not fool yourself into thinking that the ones who achieved greatness always felt excited, because the truth is that the most legendary lives were built in silence, in repetition, in sacrifice, in the unglamorous grind that no one celebrates. And the reason they became legends is because they stayed when others left, they pushed when others quit, they rose when others fell, and they understood that consistency is the single greatest weapon a human can wield. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you choose commitment over comfort, every time you choose persistence over excuses, you carve deeper into the foundation of your purpose until it becomes unshakable, and when it is unshakable, nothing and no one can take it from you. That is the standard, that is the price, that is the truth most people do not want to hear. But if you are willing to accept it, if you are willing to embody it, If you are willing to rise above the weakness of temporary feelings, then you will not just chase your purpose, you will achieve it, and you will look back on your life knowing that you did not surrender when it mattered most. You did not waste your potential. You did not build your life on unstable emotion. You built it on relentless consistency, and that is why your story will never be forgotten.